Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Dairy Signal. We're so happy that you've joined us here on this lovely Thursday, June 11th, and we're going to hear all about June Dairy Month and the wonderful work that our friends over at Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin are doing, not just for our Wisconsin farmers, but really to connect the consumer with all the good work that our farmers do day in and day out. We have with us today Suzanne Fanning, Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer with Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. And I think it's going to be a really great opportunity for you to ask as many questions as you'd like throughout the next hour. We have Suzanne with us, but also really to learn a lot about the great work that our friends at Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin are doing. So, Suzanne, with that, I think we've got a great lineup ahead of us, and I'm really excited for the discussion ahead.
Oh, I'm always excited to talk about June Dairy Month and Born to Dairy. So lots to discuss on this very rainy day.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you want to just kick it off, then we'll definitely go back and forth then with some questions that we receive.
Okay. Well, we have a few slides here, but I think, like we discussed a little while ago, just jump in and let's ask some questions and anything that you want to discuss as we go, let's just do it. Of course, nobody does June Dairy Month like Wisconsin. I mean, that goes without saying. But I thought today we could kind of talk about what DFW, Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin, does to kind of help in these different efforts, right? Because it's already kind of magical and spectacular anyway, what's happening across the state. So really, we don't want to get in the way. So we asked ourselves, how can we possibly add to these festivities? What can we do to contribute to the amazing things that are happening across this magical time for Wisconsin? And so there are four key things that we thought we could really do to help a little bit. And the first one is just getting consumers on the farm, just kind of building awareness and making sure they know where those breakfasts are. So we'll talk about how we're going to do that. The next one is just getting those farmer stories out there. So whether you're getting to the farm breakfast or whether you're not, we still want to make sure you know what farmers do and how important they are. So we'll talk about how we're doing that. And then just elevating that on-farm experience. So once you're there, what do you see? What are you learning about? And so we'll talk about that. And then the fourth one, and of course, the one I'm most excited to talk about, and hopefully you can see the fellow behind me. So we'll talk about what he and I are doing to ignite that statewide excitement for dairy. So you ready to get into it?
Absolutely.
Okay. If you are looking for a farm breakfast near you, the best place to go is to wisconsindairy.org/JDM. And so we have a comprehensive list of all of the farm breakfasts and all of the farm events on our site. And it's really easy. You just put in your location and it tells you week by week everything that you can do and all about that particular breakfast and what to expect there. And we do a lot to just drive traffic to that site. We work with search engine optimization and even with AI to make sure that the little summaries that you get when you Google it are driving people to that site to make sure that people are knowing exactly where to find that website and where to find that farm breakfast. And again, like even if you're not going to be able to make it to a farm breakfast, which let me say, you need to go to a farm breakfast. I mean, these things are just so cool. If you have kids, you want to go. They get to like pet the cows. They get to like see all the other animals that are there. In some cases, you get to like make your own butter. You get to have dairy education. I mean, there's just so much going on. It's just so really incredible. So if you can make it to a farm breakfast, definitely make it to a farm breakfast. But also on the website, if you can't make it to a breakfast, there are lots of great dairy recipes because that's another thing you want to do to celebrate June Dairy Month, right? You want to use all the dairy that you can. And so we have some wonderful recipes for smoothies and other things ways that you can incorporate dairy into your diet, which is something you definitely want to do, right? We also have great stories of sustainability, stories about our farmers, and all kinds of social content on there. So give our site a visit if you haven't before. So that's number one, connecting consumers to the farm in many different ways. Number two, we talked about bringing farmer stories to the forefront. And we work really closely with media. We work really closely with our farmers. And we try to identify those stories and connect our farmers to the media to tell their stories and to talk about the breakfast, to talk about their farm operation, to talk about how they care for their animals, to talk about how they care for their land, to talk about everything that's going on. And if you have, you probably, I don't think you can turn on your TV, just the this morning we had our TV on. My husband was watching the news and he said, "Hey, look, they're talking about dairy. Did you know?" And I'm like, "Yeah, honey, I know. We helped arrange that." And so that is definitely something that we do. You'll see over 70 different farmer media interviews over the course of this month because let me tell you, it's June, it's Wisconsin. Everybody is talking about dairy, and that is something that we work really, really hard to drive. Have you been seeing farmer media interviews?
Absolutely. They're all over my Facebook page, right? My Facebook feed right now. And I love going through them. A lot of them are members of our organization. So it's really nice to see our members stepping up to share their stories. And so with that, Sue, what is the importance of farmers telling their story? Like, why does it matter that they take this initiative to be a part of these interviews for consumers?
I mean, nobody can tell the story better than farmers themselves. And that is something that really, really builds trust. They want to hear it directly from the farmers, particularly like the younger generation, right? They want to understand it. It helps build that authenticity. People want to know where their food comes from more than ever. And they want to understand those stories. They want to understand the people. They want to understand the practices. They want to understand how those animals are cared for. And for us in particular, we really want people to understand the human side of farmers. And so when farmers tell their own story, it brings it across in just this really, really wonderful and authentic way. So it's incredibly important. And we are so proud of our farmers and how articulate they are on camera. And I think you will be too. We have some examples of some of these media interviews, so you'll be able to see them too in this deck. Take a look.
It's so important that people get to see this and experience it because it's real, is what makes Wisconsin America's Dairyland.
We just would love to share, what it takes to handle a farm.
Trish, what are you most proud of as being a dairy farmer?
Being able to raise our children here and learning something new from other dairy farmers. Our doors are always open for people to learn and come here and experience what the farm is all about.
You guys are involved in the community, plus you're going to have an event here on the farm as well.
So we're going to have the dairy breakfast on June 14th, and that's anyone who wants to come out and have breakfast on the farm, get a tour of the farm, or walk around, see the farm.
Sustainability has always been a backbone of the farming community. We really focus on conservation. We've seen great progress and great results from doing new and different things on the land.
There's so many things that farmers do that make us great recyclers. From the water that we use to cool the milk, we recycle that, we feed the cows, and then we use it to wash.
The Calumet County Egg Stewardship Alliance is a watershed-based program. So they provide us with resources to do no-till and cover crop, and about 90% of our land falls into that category, which helps to protect our waterways.
We really do love what we do, and we are taking care of the land, and we want that to continue for the generations to come.
It just is a sustainable cycle when the cattle get the best crops out of the best land.
Cow comfort is hands down the most important thing when it comes to a cow.
Our dad, he always said cows make milk recreationally.
Yeah.
And the meaning behind that is if they're happy, they'll give us milk.
They all have their own unique personalities, and it's just fun to see them go from a baby all the way up to a milking cow, and just to have that time with them.
Our cows sleep at the beach. We like to say they sleep on sand all day long. They have as much food as they need.
2% of the world is farmers. And we are getting to the point where the generations are getting removed, so they don't really know of where their food is coming from.
Your milk comes from, cows. It doesn't just magically show up at the grocery store. I think it's an important thing to just know where your food comes from, and that, farmers care about our crops and our animals.
In 2024, last year, thanks to our dedicated team of girls like this one and our people, we were able to produce enough milk to make over 11 million pounds of cheese.
Ours is made into world-class cheese that goes all over the world.
All of us make Wisconsin unique and great.
When you're in the grocery stores, buying your cheese, butter, milk, whatever, see if you can find the Proudly Wisconsin label on your dairy products and enjoy.
There's just value in growing up as a farm kid. You know you're raising food for others in your community. It's just a good way to grow up.
I was buying cows when I was 16 and then in hopes to someday farm, and now in 2016 we purchased this farm and now we have 65 cows and 100 acres and 5 kids.
It's not just a business, it's definitely a way of life.
I personally love being a dairy farmer because there's so much hands-on experience. I mean, you learn something new almost every day.
I would like to see this to be a 4th, 5th, 6th generation farm. I want Drago Dairy to be here forever.
It's a great honor to be part of this tradition. I feel really privileged to be able to build on top of what my ancestors have already started here and continue on into the future.
That's the kind of life I wanted, to have my kids all around me, and now I have my grandkids around me too, and it just come in full circle, and it's a really good way to live.
I'm still here on the farm because I love cows. That's why I'm here.
Being able to pull in the driveway every day and have that feeling that, like, you did this.
So that's our sizzle reel from last year, because obviously right now we're right in the middle of it, but aren't they just incredible? Our farmers are superstars.
Yeah, they are amazing. I get goosebumps when I see all the different stories that you guys were able to capture, and just how eloquently our farmers are able to share their stories, because no one is more credible than the farmer themselves. Sue, can you talk about how a farmer could potentially get involved with these interviews if they aren't already potentially on a list somewhere? If you're watching this right now and you're like, I want to volunteer, how would they go about connecting with you?
Absolutely. Our team is out all the time connecting with farmers and trying to connect with folks who want to tell their stories. And we also offer media training to make sure that any farmer who wants to get on the news and tell their story in any way can have that media training, because we want to make sure that they're ready, because it's not always easy when the news person comes and sticks that microphone in your face. So we have a team that works very closely with them and prepares an entire list of talking points. And it's like, all right, if you want to focus on sustainability, here are some key points that you want to talk about just in general. And we help you develop points that are specific to your farm and your practices and what you do, because obviously every farm is different, and we support all the farms and all the different practices. And so we work very closely with every single farmer who wants to get involved, and we love for anybody to tell the story. So if you're listening or if you're watching and you want to get involved, reach out to us and let us know, and we will do everything that we can to empower you to tell your story, because that's really important to you. It's really important to us. It's just really important to Wisconsin. So do it. Tell your story. Let us help you.
Awesome. And Sue, we actually just had a question come in from our listeners. So a reminder to utilize our online platform to ask all your questions today. But the question is, what campaign in recent years has been the most successful in reaching consumers?
Oh, all right. Well, you know what? That is such a great question. And we are going to get to that, I think within the next slide. So just
Perfect.
Yeah, I would say hold on to your horses, but I'm going to say hold on to your cows and wait just a minute, because we're going to get there. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is just elevating the on-farm experience. And this is something that has been somewhat of a something that we've changed over the last few years, because we have started putting together over the last few years these host kits. So hopefully anybody who has been involved with a dairy breakfast has received one of these host kits, and they're a little bit different every year, and we love feedback. So if you have received a kit, please reach out, give us some feedback, tell us what you've loved, tell us what you haven't used, and tell us what you'd like to see in the future, because I will tell you, at Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin, we are all about continuous improvement and we are all about farmer feedback. So we would love to hear anything from you. But what our goal is to make sure that these breakfasts are just consistently branded and that they are providing great education. In the past, we've also even put like wayfinding signage so that people could like find their way to the different farms, like farm breakfast this way. We have put some different banners in there that people could decorate with. We have put educational pieces in there so that people understand what's happening in different barns. We have put little fact things in there that are just in particular about like the state. We have put like some different trivia games in there that people could play as they're standing in line to get into the farm line. So all kinds of different things. And this year too, we have some really fun like photo props, as you can see Allison Dairyland, Sarah up there, and with our CEO Chad holding some of our big photo props. So all kinds of different things in these kits. And I even have like a few, I have some cards and some bumper stickers and things. So all kinds of different little things in the kits. But we would love to hear what you use and what you would like to see in kits moving forward. So that's all about elevating that on-farm experience. All right, and now back to the question that we just had. What's been our most successful campaign? I think one of our most successful breakout hits for campaigns has been in this past year, Born to Dairy. And if you have not heard about Born to Dairy, I think that you probably will hear about it. I showed these cards a second ago, and this is kind of where it all began. We did a soft launch of this campaign at World Dairy Expo, and it launched with just these original 6. And so this campaign was really all about showing the humorous and quirky and fun and human side of our hardworking dairy farmers. And so if you kind of take a look at these original 6, we have our farm MacGyver, and just note, these are all real dairy farmers. Now, the personas themselves are meant to be kind of composites of large groups of dairy farmers, not meant to be about this one specific person. They served as models, but we thought rather than just hiring a model, it would be more fun and more effective to use real dairy farmers as our models. And honestly, the best decision we ever made, because I don't think we could have ever hired professional models that would have looked more authentic or better than these people. And plus these people did their own costuming, which is just absolutely fabulous. Our farm MacGyver here, we say he hasn't thrown anything away since 1997, just in case. He can fix anything on the farm with duct tape and baler twine. He's so fabulous. And so this is actually Gary. And we called Gary and we kind of described, you know, this is what we want you to wear in general. And he showed up that day at the studio. He had MacGyvered his own shirt, which if you look closely, this is a button down with the sleeves cut out. And as soon as we looked at him, we immediately changed the line on the back of his card, because when you flip these cards over, there's kind of little funny lines describing these people. And we immediately changed one of them to say, when you deserve collar respect but need elbow freedom, because it was just so funny that he had so these characters even like inspired some of their own funny lines. But then we've got the Muma here, who is representative of all the grandmas on the farm and how farms are just very multi-generational. And we say that she has barn shoes that are older than you. Then when it comes to some of the newer generations here, we've got the farm talker, right? So he's that guy who is always out there like filming out there in the field. And we say he is one viral video away from an ag influencer deal. So just kind of poking a little fun, having some fun. I'm sure you recognize the next one there. Our Gen Z farmer, played by Allison Dairyland, runs on diesel iced coffee and dad's Wi-Fi password. Then we've got our fully loaded barnyard baller. That is one of our board members, Jeff. And we say he has got BTE, big tractor energy, and he test drives tractors like other people test drive sports cars. And then on the end here, we've got our utterly stunning Dairyland darling, and she represents like all the fierce, fabulous women who are involved in dairy farming today. And we say she's lethal with a pitchfork and a pout. And we say so much more about these characters. And what's cool is that they're funny on the outside, but they really all represent stories that need to get out there about farmers. And when you look deeper, a lot of the characters are either talking about sustainability, like our cow comfort concierge is talking about cow care comfort and how important it is to take care of your animals. We've got other characters who are representative of like how important it is for young people to get involved in farming. And so just every single one tells a deeper story. And if you look at our website, it tells the funny part and then it tells the truth behind the persona. So you understand like what the story is that we're really trying to tell. And so we started with the original 6 that we launched in September just to see what people would think. People actually really, really loved it. And everyone said, oh man, I know that guy. My dad's a farm MacGyver. Or, oh yeah, my cousin, he is always like doing the TikTok. And oh yeah, definitely know a Barnyard Baller. And oh, my sister, she's a total Dairyland darling. So it was exactly what we wanted. And everybody saw either themselves or someone that they knew in these different personas. And we also launched a series of videos featuring these personas with Charlie Behrens, my buddy behind me. And they drew thousands and thousands of consumer comments with people having just an outpouring of love for dairy and dairy farmers and so much support and saying how important dairy was to the state. The campaign just immediately did everything that we wanted it to do. Right now, there's a big campaign going on for the June Dairy Month breakfast featuring Tina Hinchley. And so you probably will see her on the sides of buses and on some billboards. We've got a GIF coming out with her, and she is in a Charlie Behrens video right now. There are billboards all across the state featuring all of the different personas. And we're getting so much feedback from consumers about how fun it is to see dairy farmers featured on billboards. They're also on the sides of buses, which is a fun and unexpected surprise in, again, cities all across the state. And then people started talking about them. So I want to show you just a quick little clip. This is not anything, I know people pay influencers to talk about them. We did not do that. This was just something that somebody saw the campaign and started talking about it. And we loved what she said because she really got it. So I'm going to just play this really quickly.
Dairy farmers in Wisconsin that are being featured on buses in Milwaukee as part of America's Dairyland campaign. So I actually saw this on a friend of the pods, Annalise Wagner, better known as Mod Farm Chick online. And it's exactly what it sounds like. They are taking actual farmers front and center and putting them on a major city's bus. So Milwaukee bus. She posted the videos of her like literally wrapped on a bus. I don't know, it was just so cool to see. We had to bring it to the pod.
Shout out, like, I feel like new age marketing, like, I also feel like this was done really, really well. They actually paired up with Charlie Behrens. So he's like the comedian behind this. I think some of the visionary behind it from what I could gather. And he's obviously so hot in the Midwest, Wisconsin, like really great pairing. But Wisconsin, on their website, they put Wisconsin dairy farmers are more than hardworking. They're originals from farm fix-it MacGyvers to ring light barn stars. Born to Dairy celebrates the pride, quirks, and big personalities that make America's Dairyland thrive. So we'll spotlight Annalise since she is a friend of the pod, but she was the Dairyland darling. And this is what they said about her, which I just think was really cute. She's heard it 1,000 times. You're too pretty to be a farmer. Adorable. Tell that to the woman who hauled 50-pound feed sacks, delivered a calf, and made dinner by p.m. and still had time to do her nails before dessert. The Dairyland darling doesn't balance glam and grit. She blends them so seamlessly, even the cows stop to stare, which I just, whoever wrote it, like they did a fabulous job, because Annalise is one of those people who will be feeding a calf, hauling feed, and then tell you about like her lash serum, that like why her lashes look so fabulous. Like, I don't know any of the other farmers, but you instantly were like, I totally feel like I could know that person. Like, it was just really fun. And they had a spectrum. There was a 4-H'er, an FFA'er, a Gen Z, like a guy who loves fishing. Like, it was just across the board, all ages, all people.
Dairy farmers in Wisconsin.
There you go. So that was pretty fun. And the campaign is still going strong. We have got not only just the buses and the billboards, but we've got some milk trucks that are coming out featuring the different personas. We have got GIFs that are happening on social that are animated GIFs that are like our the trading cards, but come to life. And there's even like music behind the GIFs that are, I don't know if the music plays, but hear that. Okay, so that music was actually performed by a dairy farmer. So there's a band called the Jimmies, Jimmy Vagley, and that music was written and performed by the Jimmies. So even the music is written by a dairy farmer. So pretty cool that we just kept this all in the dairy farming family. But dairy farmers and just Wisconsinites in general love Charlie Berens, and that was some more feedback that we were given repeatedly. So we asked Charlie if he would like to be a part of this campaign and talk about these different personas monthly for us. And he was all in and definitely wanted to be a part of it. So I can share with you just real quickly.
This is the weather-wise forecast farmer. His knees say rain, his lower back says sleet. He doesn't need an app, he doesn't trust the app, because he is the app. He once predicted a snowstorm in Eau Claire from Waukesha. That's his own internal meteorologist. And when he smells the air, that's not a sniff, no, that's a forecast. And we got tissue, I got allergies. Over here we have the 5-star Comfort Concierge. She doesn't just run a barn, hospitality. We are in the Ritz-Carlton. What, you guys don't like the puns? Fine, I'll move on. Fresh feed, clean water, automatic brushes. I mean, these cows are living better than us, or at least me. Oh, it's nice in here. Oh, don't back away. I'll be Big Spoon.
Hey, Charlie, can you stop bothering my babies?
Oh. Sorry. Folks, as always, support your Wisconsin farmer. Drink that Wisconsin milk. Eat that Wisconsin cheese. Better yet, put Wisconsin butter on that Wisconsin cheese like my grandpa used to do. Just look for the Proudly Wisconsin badge. This is the...
So there you go. And we've got radio spots coming up with Charlie as well that you'll be hearing. But Charlie's not the only Wisconsin icon that we have partnered up with. We've also partnered up with the University of Wisconsin, with Culver's. We've actually got a trading card coming out with the dairy farmer who provides the milk that goes into the Culver's curd. So we're saying she's like she's the herd to curd farmer. And she's actually the early shift behind your favorite curds. We also are We also are pairing up with Piggly Wiggly. So if you go into a Piggly Wiggly in Wisconsin this month, you will see our farmers prominently displayed there. So I think the first time we've had our farmers prominently displayed in a grocery store. So that's going to be pretty neat. And they're also featured in Piggly Wiggly Digital and in some social campaigns. And really excited to announce that we have a partnership with Leroy Butler, the Lambeau Leaper of the Green Bay Packers. And just like we had Charlie Berens at our Dairy Expo last year, we will have Leroy Butler at Dairy Expo this year, and he will be handing out limited edition green and gold Born to Dairy hats that he will be autographing for Wisconsin's dairy farmers. So that's going to be a pretty exciting time. So make it over to our booth for Dairy Expo.
That gives me major FOMO right now, Suzanne. I'm like, oh darn, I don't know if I'll be at World Dairy Expo this year.
No.
That's amazing. I'll be out of maternity leave potentially. But Born to Dairy, that's Leroy Butler. Those hats deserve to be framed somewhere in someone's Wisconsin garage. That is where they watch the Packers all the time. That's really amazing. So I guess a question on that, Suzanne, is obvious. I'm assuming that the reactions have been very positive, but what are some initial reactions when you first launched the campaign to now, as you've had 9 months since World Dairy Expo to reflect and launch more personas? How has that been going for you, and what momentum do you have to continue? Like, how long will this campaign potentially run?
Well, so we are launching 2 new personas every single month of this year, right through December, when we launch like a really cool sort of Hallmark inspired dairy farmer, which is going to be hysterical. But 2 new have been coming every single month. And there's a new Charlie video every single month talking about them. So there's 2 new personas launch every month and 12 Charlie videos for the entire year. And so that's been really exciting. We have got millions of views, and I do have a list of results at the end, but millions of views of these different videos for Charlie, and just thousands of positive comments, which has been incredible. The billboards we're putting up for like key events, key moments in time. There are a lot right now advertising June Dairy Month. We're going to have a lot up for, you'll see a Leroy Butler one coming up for Dairy Expo. And so we've got those coming up at key times, key moments throughout the year. And some other little fun surprises with the buses and the milk trucks and things too. But like I said, consumers are loving it. Hopefully after this month too, with our partnership with Piggly Wiggly, we'll have some fun sales numbers that we'll be able to share as well. So just all in all, really, really positive reaction. And I'll share some metrics on a slide in just a second. This past weekend, we had a couple of really fun activations, including one up in Marshfield at the Central Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. We had an event called Bites, Brews, and Beats, where we had a team up there. And then we also were near Milwaukee at a Piggly Wiggly grand opening, where we set up a milk and cookie stand. And we had some little cookies that we passed out with milk chugs that said, "Life is better with milk cookies than Wisconsin dairy farmers, born to dairy." So fun, lots of fun stuff going on. This was just a little kickoff event that we had for Born to Dairy, and just wanted to show you. This was just super cute because we have pop-up events that are going on all over the state, where we're inviting farmers and consumers to come and celebrate dairy together and just appreciate dairy together. And so this is one that we had in Fitchburg. And I want you to notice the butter carving in here that says Born to Dairy, because it was so fun. And we actually handed out Wisconsin butter as a party favor as well at this particular event. But I'll just play this really quick. Born to Dairy is all about telling the world about the personalities, the pride, the quirks of the people in America's dairyland.
I love this Born to Dairy campaign because it really showcases the family that we have within dairy, and you felt it in the room tonight.
I thought the event was amazing. It was so fun to hear the authentic stories of so many dairy farmers and get to see people connect with these personas and get to meet the people.
It's such a genius idea to come up with all the different personas that make up all the dairy farmers in the state of Wisconsin. Everybody can, every character resonates with somebody that you know, so that just makes it so much more fun.
Tonight was amazing. Born to Dairy is breathing kind of new life into showcasing dairy farmers here in Wisconsin. I grew up on a very small dairy farm, and these personas ring so true to my own personal family and even myself.
1, 2, 3. We're born to dairy! Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Cheers.
Oh, shoot, that didn't show the butter sculpture. I'm sorry. Well, there was a Born to Dairy butter sculpture that was absolutely beautiful in there. But just showcase some of the attitudes and what people have to say about the campaign. All right, here is a quick look at how we are capturing hearts across Wisconsin. Like I said, 6 million video views, which is pretty cool that people are just loving those videos. And I would encourage you to either go to Dairy Farmers Wisconsin Facebook, America's Dairyland Facebook, or Charlie Barron's Facebook, and take a look at the latest one, which is the one about June Dairy Month, because I think it's really, really funny. And it's really good. So take a look at that one. And also you'll want to see the next one as well. We've had thousands of positive comments about dairy and about our farmers, and we just love what they're saying. Just this outpouring of affection, which is great. We've had 12.55 million bus and billboard impressions. So many people are driving by and seeing those buses and those billboards. And again, lots of positive comments about those. People are saying it's so much better than seeing, ads for lawyers. Sorry if there's a lawyer listening. I'm sure you're a perfectly nice person, but man, it's good for those dairy dairy farmers to have their moment in the sun. So much earned media, and this is something that we didn't anticipate, that how newsworthy this was going to be, but it's gotten just a lot of coverage. A lot of reporters have reached out. People are just covering the story, and they think Born to Dairy and the farmers being at the center of this campaign is just such a neat story. So it's earned $24.6 million in media coverage, which kind of means, and I'll just sort of explain it. So like if we had purchased ads to talk about this campaign, this is the equivalent value of what we would have purchased, but we didn't purchase this. This is just the news media talking about it. So pretty cool. And we've reached almost 3 billion consumers with this news. So, and more events to come. So really, really cool with what's happening. So that is what I have.
Wonderful. And I just want to reiterate the importance and with earned media. And I know that Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin does a great job of making sure to maximize the impact that they have across the world, across the country, across the world, with getting Wisconsin cheese into the hands of consumers. And that earned media is exceptionally impressive. And we're very, very grateful that they're doing the best that they can to be great stewards of the resources that are coming from our farmer dollars. And it's just always exciting to see the different ways that you guys are coming up with how to share our farmers' stories. I know we've been working quite a bit together over the last few years on that media training and seeing the Born to Dairy campaign come to life. I know there's many, many, many familiar faces on that. And so I guess what makes this campaign unique, besides the fact of like you're taking something that most people would like, it's so out of left field, literally. Like I feel like the baseball trading cards, and that's very much a in thing with the next generation coming up. So what's one, I guess, would be what's next potentially, and how long? Like there's just so much potential. Like what's the goal of personas, I guess, Sue?
What's the goal of the personas? I mean, we really just want to find unique and memorable ways to connect. You know, we just want to do something beyond just social, which is what so many brands are doing. And so I think there's just this incredible real world connection when you have something to touch, like these trading cards. And what's so fun, I mean, aside from the fact that they're just beautiful, I mean, I can't mention it enough how beautiful these dairy farmers truly are when we're showing them like this. It's just wonderful. They're so authentic. They're beautiful, and they're just really funny and all of that. I mean, it's just really incredible, but it's so incredibly authentic. And I think that's what's so special about this campaign is the connection that we're providing, because typically when we're approaching ag, we're talking about the products, right? That's kind of the thing that we usually do. And with this campaign, we're really talking about the families and the people. And I think that's what makes it different. And we're just approaching it in a really unique and human way. So I think that's what's different. So
yeah, and it's really enlightening too. Like we always say, we're a people organization. Like, yes, we do education, but at the forefront, it's people that drive everything in our industry. And so being able to share those stories, I think, Sue, you had a question potentially that you wanted to bring up to our audience in regards to another persona that will be coming out here soon. And so would you want to frame up your question and see what response we get from the audience?
Yes, well, there are many more personas to come. And honestly and truly, every time we launch one, I'm like, oh, this is the best persona. And then we launch another one and I'm like, no, this is the best persona. And literally, I think every time we do, and consumers are the same way and farmers are the same way. Everyone we launch are like, oh, this is my favorite so far. So we've got many, many favorites coming out. And okay, this is where I say there are spoilers. So if you don't want to know like what's coming up in the future, you could, maybe cover your ears or something, but I will tell you there is a persona coming up in the fall called the Dairyland Bachelor. And maybe you know this person, but this is the younger dairy farmer who everybody wants to fix up. So his mom wants to fix him up, and you know, everybody in his life wants to fix him up. But he is just married to the farm, and she is a demanding spouse. So he just doesn't have time in his life for all the dating and all the stuff that comes with it. And so so the Dairyland Bachelor. So that's the character, right? So anyway, we launched this persona, and we were kind of searching for the perfect one, as we do, and we always ask around when it comes time for casting, and we found the person that we thought was going to be the perfect one. And we kind of thought about like launching a reality PR campaign around like let's find a date for this person. But in the midst of all that, a lot of other people came forward and said, but I know a Dairyland Bachelor, and I know a Dairyland Bachelor, and I want to fix somebody up. And so all of these other people kind of came forward and said, yeah, there's a Dairyland Bachelor in my life. So many, in fact, that we thought, hey, maybe when we launch this persona, instead of focusing on just the one person, maybe we should kind of go into reality show mode. And at Dairy Expo, we could have a Dairyland Bachelor auction, just like, and give the proceeds all to charity, for a nice farm charity that we could all agree on, because there are so many eligible bachelors that people would like to meet. And so we want to know, is it a good idea? Is it a tacky idea? Would it be a fun thing to do to attend a Dairyland Bachelor? Bachelor auction? Do you know a Dairyland Bachelor that would like to go to this? Or would you yourself like to come and bid on some kind of a date like this? And all the dates would be kind of like ag focused. So we would like set up a date. It might be like a curd crawl, or it might be, we have a corn maze that we're going to have a born to dairy corn maze that's going to happen. So it might be a date to go to the corn maze with your Dairyland Bachelor that you win a date with. So it's something that we're thinking about. So tell us, is it a good idea or is it a bad idea? We don't know. And so we'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Weigh in.
All right, I have two. I've gotten two come in so far. Someone said, yes, donate to Dairy's Foundation. So I guess that's a subtle plug at the foundation we help to work with, Dairy's Foundation. And then another one said, this sounds amazing, sign me up. So that must be someone that's potentially single, and looking for a Dairyland Bachelor.
Firemen do it all the time. I think firemen got nothing on dairy farmers. That's what I could say.
Well, and I think it's just a great way. I feel that within our agricultural dairy community, it's a very tight-knit community, but at some point there's like, you need to find someone else out there. And this might be the great opportunity, especially with reality dating shows being a really big hit right now within our pop culture, that who knows, maybe Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin is going to be the new matchmaking service.
Who knows? We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what everybody else says when they weigh in.
Yeah. Well, while we're seeing if anyone else is out there weighing in, I guess how does Born to Dairy help in-person of it being an online billboard campaign, help in-person events like your June Dairy Months? How are they able to complement each other?
Well, we've had a lot of our dairy farmers, and particularly a lot of our personas, attending all of these events, and it was great. I was actually on my way to the International Dairy, Deli, and Bakery Association show when Bites, Beats, and Brews was going on, and I was getting play-by-play of our farm MacGyver who was there, and he was signing autographs. There was a line there for him, and he was signing autographs, and I've got to tell you, it definitely does my heart good when people see our dairy farmers as rock stars and ask them for autographs, like literally a line and signing autographs, because that is the way that it should be. When people recognize how important our dairy farmers are and ask for autographs. And so that is something pretty amazing. And when we had that event that you saw in Fitchburg, we had what we called the persona pageant. That's what we referred to it as. And so, you know, when you have like the Miss America pageant and they line everybody up and they hand them a microphone and then they ask them a question, you know, how would you achieve world peace or something like that? And they have each contestant answer a question. We we did that with our personas, and we had our 4-H'er up there, and we had our Dairyland Darlin up there, and we had our Barnyard Baller up there, and we lined them all up, and we asked each of them a question specific to their persona and the point, the truth point that they were trying to make. And we had all of the reporters there to listen to the answers, and they were absolutely spectacular. I mean, the persona pageant was the hit of the night. I mean, even greater than the butter sculpture. The butter sculpture was great. Nothing against Vicky, because Vicky Janish sculpted that butter and she was amazing. But honestly and truly, the real authentic farmers telling their stories, that was the hit of the night, because that's what it's all about. And so they're, beyond the shadow of a doubt, they are adding to these real life events. And so this campaign is just a vehicle for them to tell their stories. And people love it.
Yeah, it is amazing. And it's just such a fun way to, sometimes when you put humor with something, it makes something that's kind of a little intimidating feel exciting again. And I know sometimes it's intimidating to share your story.
Okay, so there was actually a farmer who made a comment on one of the personas. So we had put one of the personas out there, and somebody said, like, what is Born to Dairy? And a farmer commented back before we had a chance to answer, and she said, it's a little bit of humor with a whole lot of truth. And I said, wow, wow, I couldn't have said it better myself. That is the best description of Born to Dairy that I have ever heard. So
yeah, and it's just amazing, and you feel so blessed to be able to be from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
it truly is. It's talking about our roots, talking about where we come from, and really amplifying our messages. So going back to June Dairy Month, Suzanne, at the end of June, which I know I was joking before with you about how you're a third of the way through the June, which is a very, very busy month for your team. What would success look like for dairy farmers of Wisconsin?
well, if people just walk away with just an understanding of what happens on a dairy farm, if they walk away with some very positive memories, and if they walk away with a genuine connection, that's a win for us. I mean, we want people to have pride in being from America's Dairyland. That's the win.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up today, Suzanne, what are a few key messages that you really want our listeners to take home with them long into the future after they close their computer for today?
Well, I want them to remember how hard dairy farmers work and how they work every single day of the year without any vacations. When the rest of us can take weekends off, they're working extra hard. And I think that is definitely the one thing that always gets me. When people take off for Christmas, I know I've talked to dairy farmers about like their Christmas day, and just to remember that, like, dairy farmers many times will send their staff home, so they work extra hard on Christmas so that their staff can go home. And so, like, literally, they work harder on holidays than anybody else works. So, I mean, it's just incredible the dedication that they put into feeding the world. So that's one thing I would say. Absolutely be grateful for these products. I would say, if in Wisconsin, just be so grateful to be from America's Dairyland. And then just a few, facts about cheese that we always like to put out there, because in Wisconsin, 90% of the milk that's produced goes into cheese. We do make some of the greatest cheese on the planet, and we win more awards for our cheese than any other state or country. And a lot of people don't realize that. They know that Wisconsin makes a lot of cheese, but they don't know that we make such delicious cheese. So I like for people to know that as well. And so when you see that little Proudly Wisconsin cheese badge, you can be assured that it is just really delicious and you want to taste that cheese. So.
Yeah, and you're making me very hungry we have a fridge stacked full of our delicious Wisconsin cheese, and so we're going to probably go snack on that after this.
Well, I'll tell you something else. So we talked about Leroy Butler, and you said you might not make it, but I think maybe just bring bring the baby come, because also at World Dairy Expo, so this, okay, I don't know if this may be a little known fact, but he is a true cheese lover, because it was his pre-game ritual to eat 2 Colby Jack grilled cheese sandwiches before every game. And so we are working with the folks at Dairy Expo to serve his pre-game ritual that day when he is there. Maybe even get him into the grilled cheese tent, like cooking some sandwiches for everybody. So we'll be handing out his limited edition card. He'll be autographing his hats, and they'll be serving his Colby Jack grilled cheese sandwiches that day. So even a more special day at Dairy Expo.
Wow, he would fit right in with the PDP team. I think we have grilled cheeses at least every week.
Nice.
That's awesome. Did not know that about him. Well, as we wrap up, just want to say thank you so much, Suzanne, for being with us today. And really just want to say thank you to Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. I know that we've been partners for a pretty long time, and we're just grateful to work together to ensure the success of our Wisconsin dairy farmers and ultimately share the great work that our farmers are doing day in and day out. So I want to say thank you to Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. Thank you to our farmers, as well as thank you to all of our partners, our national partners that are with us year in and year out and make programs like the Dairy Signal possible. With that, I think we'll wrap up here. I wish everyone a safe rest of this Thursday. If you're experiencing some more storms this evening, wishing you all the best. And we'll look forward to seeing you back here next week on the Dairy Signal.
Thanks for having me.